My name is Anne-Marie Tomczak, and I'm a journalist and a broadcaster. I have spent the bulk of my career in public service broadcasting with the likes of the BBC. And in recent years, I've been leading editorial teams in the technology and fashion industries. I was the UK editor for Mashable, and I was also the digital director for British Vogue. Over the past year, I've been working as an investigative journalist for the Condé Nast title British Glamour. And I think it's really timely having this session because it's a really nice chance to reconnect or to even connect with lots of people from around the world. For me, 2020 has definitely been a year where I've been able to revisit a lot of the themes that I've covered about technology over the years, but it feels like this year we're doing those things with a new lens. And I have a feeling that today's discussion is also going to come with a fresh perspective and a new lens about a really valuable industry of artisans and creatives. So it's really wonderful to be able to embrace this opportunity to take part in online panels and to bring together experts from around the world. We literally have so many people from different geographies attending the session today. So with that year of reflecting and reconnecting, it gives me really great pleasure to be reconnecting today here with Elizabeth Linder, who is the founder and the CEO of Broach Associates. Now, to give you a little bit of context, Elizabeth is someone who I have known for almost a decade. I first met Elizabeth when I was working as a presenter at the BBC, and she was heading up government and policy at Facebook. And Elizabeth is somebody who has always been a trailblazer in her field. She's someone who I have a huge amount of respect and admiration for. And it gives me huge pleasure to be able to hand over to Elizabeth, the founder and CEO of Broach Associates, who's going to moderate today's discussion. Elizabeth.
Anne-Marie, thank you so very much. And thank you to all of our guests who are joining us very much from around the world today. It's a real pleasure to see all of you, old friends and new, as we explore our topic. Reiterating Anne-Marie's point, something that is so incredibly exciting about this world and about this time that we're in today is the opportunity to host and to moderate a panel where we're all in entirely different geographies exploring a topic together is something that has just really blossomed and fired the imagination in 2020. And certainly that's true of our panel and our panelists today as we explore the magic and the majesty of carpets from all over the world. Shirin joins us from Baku, Azerbaijan, where she directs the Carpet Museum in Baku, and we look so forward to Zooming for many of us halfway around the world to joining Shirin. It's 8 a.m. right now in California, it's 8 p.m. right now in Baku, so thank you for joining us. We're also joined by Anna, coming in from Berlin, who will share with us a very special connection between Baku and Berlin through the lens of the ancient carpets. And Anna restores and curates the carpets for the Islamic Art Museum in Berlin. And Stefano also has a background in the carpet trade as an academic and a writer and a scholar and a researcher. And Stefano joins us from magical Rome. So we are absolutely thrilled to be joined from our panelists and our guests from around the world. Something that I have personally just so enjoyed in my conversations with Shirin and Anna and Stefano as we've been preparing for today's virtual salon and journey through the carpets of Azerbaijan is the extraordinary vocabulary that I have been exposed to through this topic. It is known that the carpets of Azerbaijan are seen as the cultural ambassadors of the country. They are described as being manuscripts, and they are described as showcasing and being emblematic of family dignity. We're entering, of course, the festive season, the new year, and the incredible and extraordinary vocabulary and the power of that vocabulary tying together cultural ambassadors and manuscripts and emblematic dignity for households is something that fits so well with this season as we all sit in our respective lockdowns at home, joining each other today for today's salon. So with that, thank you again so much. I will remind everyone that today's salon is entirely on the record and is recorded. And so I just want to reassure everyone that anything that you say today will be shared more widely with scholars and with interested parties from all over the world. We'll be together for the next hour, first hearing from Shirin and Anna and Stefano, and then we'll have the opportunity to open up to discussion and questions for the final half hour. If you do have questions, please do make use of the chat feature on Zoom to share those questions with the group. Anytime a question pops into your mind, even if we're not coming up where we're inviting questions, go ahead and begin sharing them, and I will come to those questions as we go. So once again, thank you so much. And Shirin, I leave it over to you.
Thank you very much, dear guests, and thank you very much, dear Elizabeth and Anna Maria, for this opportunity for organization of this meeting. And I would like to thank our good friends from Berlin and from Rome. Dear Anna, thank you for joining, and dear Stefano, it's really nice to see you because during this year we have a chance to see each other in reality. So in virtual world, it's like a common already for us to meet each other and to discuss the main topic which connect all of us. And of course, this is the carpets. I would like to say that for Azerbaijan, carpets are really one of the main symbols of our country, and it reflects all our history or all periods of history, and it reflects our literature, our folk art, philosophy, aesthetic view, everything. It like really fairy tale with what we can find out about our history. But it's not the tradition which lives only in museum, in artifacts. It's a living art which continues today. Until today, we have both rural carpets which produce in the different villages for the using, and this is a beautiful author carpets which produce in special studios, and we have famous carpet artists which continue this tradition, and also we have a contemporary artists who use the language of carpet and create new contemporary works. So this is a really the main tradition which is alive, and which has it's developing in nowadays. When we talk about Azerbaijan, we always say that it's a unique country and it stands on the crossroads between Europe and Asia. And Azerbaijan is characterized by the picturesque natural contrasts. 9 of the 11 climatic zones are represented here. So many crafts have developed within this fertile land since the antiquity, and primary it's carpet weaving, which in Azerbaijan has reached the level of high art. The favorable climate and abundance of vegetation have enabled the country to become a major center of semi-nomadic cattle breeding. where 9 of 13 Caucasian breeds of sheep are cultivated, and the abundance of raw materials spurred the development of carpet weaving in Azerbaijan. And also important to note the presence of many natural dyes, which we can see in our carpets. There are both luxurious palace works, those carpets that were woven in the houses of ordinary people for their daily life. And in the former case, the genesis of ornaments and compositions goes back to the palace art, which with its reliance on religion and the highest achievements of Eastern culture, as a miniature painting, poetry, philosophy, which aestheticize the idea of the absolute God.
Shirin, I'm not sure if you can hear me, Shirin, but would you mind making your screen into the slide view so that everybody can see it a bit larger?
How can I do it? Just a minute. Like that?
Yes, that's better. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And in folk art, based on the millennial pre-Islamic tradition, elements of tribal beliefs were preserved, facilitated by a way of life and its corresponding way of thinking. Palace carpets were woven on the basis of sketches created by professional artists, while in folk carpets one can see attempts to replicate palace compositions in their own way, without sketches, of course. And they were also tribal carpets, whose compositions served as amulets and were passed down from generation to generation, thereby preserving their authenticity. However, even here, there was a moment of improvisation. Each woman inserted her own motifs, depicting her surroundings into the traditional composition. In the 16th century, carpets were created with the gold and silver weft threads, depicting scenes from miniature painting. It was garden carpet, it was hunting carpets, and they were incomparably beautiful, valued by weight like gold. Such products were exported as works of high art. They were given to kings and other masters and made by order. The most famous miniaturist artists created sketches for these luxurious gifts. Azerbaijani carpets have been exported from the country to generations. From the end of 19th century, this process accelerated massively. With the expansion of the market, intermediary buyers brought carpets for patients, thus making significant profits. In pre-revolutionary Russia, the Tsarist government was interested in the developing of carpet weaving, which played an important role in the empire's economy. Carpets were a significant export item. And in the middle of the last century, the idea of creating a carpet museum arose naturally. Its task was to preserve and comprehensively study these unique carpets, the quintessence of the cultural values of the Azerbaijani people. And in 2010, our carpet making art had been included to the UNESCO representative list of intangible cultural heritage. The decision was strategically important for our country for many years, but it became possible in the epoch of the so-called Khrushchev thaw, when the process of gradual thawing and a weakening of totalitarian power began, and the relative liberalization of public and political life appeared. It should be noted that the creation of such a museum, which promoted national art, was an extraordinary event in the Soviet Union. The central authorities were not inclined to take care an extraordinary event of origin ethnic cultures with their wealth and their significance in the context of world culture. The founder of our museum was Latif Karimov, an outstanding scientist, leading expert on oriental carpet, whose merits in the field of preserving and developing carpet weaving traditions and the creation of carpet science cannot be overestimated. The Azerbaijani National Carpet Museum, the first museum in the world of its kind, established in 1967, today reveals the Azerbaijan's leading museum. And today it houses in a specially designed modern building and preserves the richest collection of Azerbaijani carpets. The museum vault preserves about 11,000 exhibits, including 7 collections. The exposition is constructed so that the story about all stages of carpet weaving development, beginning with the simplest technologies, is told. First come chetens and hasirs, and then all kinds of flat woven carpets, and then quintessential pile carpets representing all types of carpet weaving. And also we represent the modern period of carpet making with the author works. Our museum has also received recognition for its work in the field of public relations. Like all prominent museums around the world, we actively develop educational programs, conduct tours, give lectures, and organize master classes focused on our collection. The museum has become a living and ever-changing educational center for all, without exception, including visitors with disabilities. One can often see the people in our museum on the wheelchair, and all our exposition and our explications and captions are arranged so that one can read them effortlessly and use touch screens while sitting. And our recent innovation within our museum motto, Museum Without Borders, most carpets in the permanent exhibition accompanied by their small replicas, weaved by our museum weavers of technology department. Such an interactive and tactile display is necessary for a detailed understanding of our collection specific, and it engages visitors to all ages. Significantly, this innovation makes it possible for individuals who are visually impaired or blind to see our carpets, experience a variety of techniques, and feel the ornaments' shapes. Braille and audio recordings also provide detailed information about each exhibit. And also we have master classes for these people, and we share our experience in carpet weaving, and especially for them for flat weaving techniques. For centuries, precious carpets produced in Azerbaijan were valued all over the world due to their high quality and numerous artistic merits. People of Western aesthetic orientation, Europeans and Americans, collected Azerbaijani carpets, decorated their villas, palaces, and religious buildings. Interest in them, especially in Karabakh type carpets from all over the world, has not subsided even today. And the grace of expositions of the world's largest museums. I can also add that collectors from Italy more admire the Gubashirvan carpets, while American collectors prefer the Ganja Gazakh type. Since 2016, we have been developed a special concept to enrich our collections. In accordance with this concept, the museum team analyzed world's collections and worked towards purchasing historically important objects for the collection or reaching out to the donors. As a result of our team's activity, local and foreign citizens have started to donate carpets from their private collections to our museum. I would like to single out our dear friend, Mr. Stefano Ionescu, who played a great role in the acquisition of several carpets for our museum. In a later 17th century Karabakh Hatay carpet, which I show you now on the slide, it's one of the unique carpet in this group of carpets, and they were so widely known and exported from Azerbaijan, started to from the 19th century, but produced since Safavid epoch. We purchased this carpet from the collection, private collection. During many years, it had been in Austrian collectors and then moved to Italy. So we found a donor to donator and bought this carpet. So donation by the Hidayali Foundation in 2018. One of the unique carpet in our collection. This one, also the unique Karabakh carpet. I should tell you that the Karabakh is one of the main carpet making center in Azerbaijan. Biggest carpets produced here, and they are well known in all over the world. It's a very beautiful Daskhali Gaba carpets consist from 3 and 5 parts, which totally cover the beautiful villas. And the length of this carpet could be from 6 to 10 meters. And also a lot of beautiful rural carpets produced in different places in Karabakh. And these carpets are also very well known. So this one, the end of 17th century, which we call this carpet also the Pre-Chalabi carpet, which is very famous because of the beautiful medallion in the center of this carpet. So the very close relative of this carpet collected in the Metropolitan Museum. It's in the constant exposition. And this year we purchased this very unique Karabakh carpet. It's very famous, this composition, blossoming carpet. And we also brought it from the Italian collector. And during the pandemic time, can you imagine? So this was a really big challenge. And now this beautiful carpet is in our constant exposition. And this one, the Shirvan carpet, very unique. For the first time in our practice, we purchased this carpet on the auction from the Austrian auction company. And the very close relative keep is kept in Berlin Islamic Art Museum, and Anna Besel will tell us about this carpet, and also she investigated our carpet during her visit on the 5th International Azerbaijani Art Symposium in 2017. I would like to show you a few carpets which had been donated to our museum by a big support of Stefano Ionescu. So this one, and he will, of course, tell about these carpets. So, but I will tell that this is a first old, very old carpet in our collection. It's 17th century. It's donated in 2013. It's also dragon carpet. And this is a very beautiful Salon carpet. It's donated by this carpet donated by Mirka Katai a few years ago. And this is very special for us because it arrived also in pandemic time this year. We are very happy to have this new carpet donation from Italy, from collector Erminio Battini. And this very unique carpet, which when I saw it first in Italy, I felt in love. It's a very beautiful Chichi carpet, Guba, in a great condition with a jewelry, beautiful, like a jewelry ornaments and beautiful colors. And Mr. Stefano Ionescu also helped us to acquire this carpet for our collection. And he visited our museum when we have presentation. And I hope that we will have a chance to see you in Baku again, dear Stefano, with Mr. Erminio, and we will present this new donation publicly in the near future. Thank you very much for your attention.
Shirin, thank you so much for that. And I hope that our guests have appreciated, again, that extraordinary vocabulary that comes with this space, the jewelry and ornamentation, the symbolism that comes through. So thank you for that tour de force. As a reminder for our guests, many of our guests today have not yet had an opportunity to visit and explore Azerbaijan or Baku. And so this would be a very good time to quickly get out a map and remind yourself where it was that Shirin started us, where we are in the world today as we take this tour through this space. So thank you. You had mentioned a specific carpet that you wanted to bring in Anna to discuss. And so Anna, we're going to hop now from Baku to Berlin and bring you into the discussion. If you wouldn't mind unmuting yourself and sharing your screen with us, that would be great.
Hello, everybody, and thank you very much for having me here today, this afternoon, this evening, wherever you are. And just give me a second to share my screen with you. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen now. Is it fine? Do I get any reactions? Okay, great.
Yes,
thank you.
Yes, we see.
Okay, wonderful. So Shirin, thank you for building this bridge from Baku to Berlin and to our shield carpet that we have in our collection. And what you see here are two fragments of a former much bigger carpet. And the piece on the left-hand side was already acquired more than 100 years ago in Berlin for the museums. And the right-hand side piece we got donated as well in 2017. And as Shirin mentioned, we had this great symposium in 2017 in Baku on Azerbaijan carpets and embroideries. And for this occasion, we restored these two fragments. And they were reunited in a very short amount of time. And we had some difficulties to put them together, because as you see here, it looks quite easy to put them side by side. But if you take a closer look, you will figure out that they're not, that the part which was already in the museum is not really correctly reconstructed. And we tried to do better nowadays. And what you see here now, I hope you see the magical moving of all the bits of pieces. This is how we reconstructed the pieces to their original location. So this is how our pieces look today. And this is important because by reorganizing these tiny little fragments, we could figure out that this carpet has something special that you will see here. It's marked in the sides here. So the shield carpet, you might be irritated by the name. The name derives from the idea that the design here comes from heraldic shields. Meanwhile, we would call it more, in German we would say flower carpet, only in England this term is really strong, but not in Germany. But I stay with this name here. So these flowers or shields here, you can see they are narrowed here on the side. So these leaves of that kind of tulip, if you want to describe it like that, are much narrower than the original parts here. And this is important because we think that these carpets, which are of exquisite quality, they are made of silk in the foundation, so warp and wefts, are made of silk, and the pile, which is created by the knots. For those who are not familiar with technical carpet terms, create the pile. So the knots, so the shiny little surface of the carpet is created by knots, and this is made of wool here. And it's these colors are extremely vivid. And as you can see, the vertical direction of the design and the vivid colors, which are changing in a very clear sequence, make this piece really extraordinary, vibrant, and powerful. And by knowing other pieces, we try to reconstruct the original size of this fragment, which was at that time where we didn't know that the Baku pieces there was quite difficult. But when I was there presenting the reconstruction of our piece in Baku, I had the chance to see this twin piece for the very first time. And here we are discussing the same things on the carpet and the differences we could figure out. And here on the right-hand side, you see the silk, wefts, and warps, and the knots. One difference between both carpets is that the carpet in Baku is heavily restored, but it is totally complete, which is nice and a great, great advantage. Because if we look at our piece later, you will see why. So what we figured out beside other things is that also the Baku piece, which is here on the top and here, also shows the narrow parts here. So somehow the flowers did not really fit into the all-over design. So they got squeezed a little bit on the sides, which is very interesting. So what we thought is that the workshops which were producing these carpets had a kind of motif book where people could choose and say, okay, I love this carpet, I like this design, could you please weave this for us, but we need it in this and this size, otherwise it doesn't fit in the hallway. So we have here custom-made carpets, and this said is that we have to think of workshops which were really well equipped, which got really good organization, a big pool of fabric, of wool and material. They were able to dye all these big amounts for fulfilling their customers' wishes. So saying this, we now put side by side our little, compared to the Baku piece, our little fragment to Shirin's carpet here. And what you see is that they really, really look alike. So we have the narrow leaves here and the narrowed leaves here on that side, on this side, and also here on that side. Our piece got much better colors, which might be the case because this had been exposed to light over the centuries much more than our fragments. But seeing this whole carpet helps us to reconstruct the original size of our piece, which is basically exactly the same or something like that. So this is a poor digital reconstruction I tried to do, but here you can see that this looks very much like the Baku shield carpet. So seeing this gives us so much more information about how production could have been in the 17th century area, and reconstructing this and putting them side by side really gives more information to scholars and to people who are interested in how carpets are produced and how the artworks until today are capturing our interest. And our little fragment was shown in Baku after conservation for the very first time, so in 2017. And as we are, and now I'm coming to nowadays future plans, as our museum will be renovated in the future years, in 2026, we will have the space and capacity to show this piece in our new museum. Whoever is familiar with the Pergamon Museum in Berlin, where we are housed today, in this building we will stay, but we will move from the south wing to the north wing in 2026. We will close in 23, so we have nearly 3 years to rearrange everything. And we will have maybe a little bit then 2 up to 3 more times the space that we have now. As you see here, this will be the room of the most interest for us because this will be the so-called garden hall where we show, where will we show our most beautiful and most biggest carpets. And this is an idea that we have right now with the designers. And here in the back, you see our little sheared fragment. And here right beside, you see also from the Karabakh region, a huge dragon carpet. And in this room, all most important carpets from our collection will come together. So we have carpets from Persia. Here on that wall, we have a huge Mughal Indian carpet. And in the back, we will have carpets from Anatolia, from the Ottoman Empire. And here we have carpets which are very important for the museum's history, which burned during World War II. So in this room, we will combine all the ambassadors, like Shirin said before, all the cultural ambassadors of carpet weaving techniques from all over. So I hope you will be interested in these carpets, in not only today, but still in 2026, when it will be possible to walk around and discover all these beauties without masks and live. So thank you for your interest, and that's from my side.
Anna, thank you so much. All of us sitting in our homes admiring what's to come. It's all so exciting, and I think probably a number of us are already thinking about how we might book a little tour through Berlin and through Baku to bring all of these pieces together. Some of our patrons I know, when they received the invitation for today, have already hopped online to check out your book and have been briefing themselves and getting themselves up to speed on your area of expertise. I know that we have a few questions coming in already that with guests curious about the coloring and the colors and how that's created. So I look forward to revisiting that shortly. Before I do, may we now hop from Berlin to Rome? And Stefano, I will ask you to unmute yourself and to share your screen so that you can help us to understand how the process of sourcing the donations to begin the Carpet Museum in Baku in Azerbaijan began.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. And I want to congratulate myself with the two speakers before. And I will, well, although I speak from Rome, I will start again with the Carpet Museum. And I want to recall something. 4 years ago, it was December 2016, I received a very pleasant visit in Rome. It was the newly appointed director of the Carpet Museum in Baku. And surprisingly, you know, for the first time, it was a young lady, very dynamic. And so I had the chance to meet Shirin from the very beginning of her career as a director. And this is absolutely true, and it was not, how shall I say, arranged before. I must really congratulate her for all the activities she delivered. I am extremely appreciative of good work and of the way she is conducting the museum. You saw the results, and very often I heard the story, it's a beautiful museum, it has a beautiful building, but the stock is not fantastic. And my answer is the stock can be built little by little with donations, with acquisitions, with a lot of effort. But where you have a structure like this dedicated to carpets, this is such an important thing for the carpet world. And again, I don't know many people who are so committed to carpets as Shirin. So just a quick image from the museum, which is absolutely heartbreaking. Of course, you must be there, and the photos are only very, very faint memories. Yes, this is the carpet which Shirin showed, and I want to spend 2 words about these friends who started somehow this process of donating carpet to the countries in origin. We know that all the collections in America and also in Europe are based on donations. And I do any effort to encourage people in other countries to consider the countries of origin, because in these countries, these pieces have a broad resonance. They are extremely valued, and they are part of the cultural heritage of every country. So we visited Baku on the occasion of the ISAC 2017, and this is a photo with my group, and I'm very glad to greet Paul and Amy Rispin, who are among the participants to this talk. And you know, visiting carpets, visiting new places with people who are committed to carpets, it's an extraordinary thing. Useless to say I miss very, very much this part of my life. And the Congress was beautifully organized, and very, very interesting talks delivered by some of the top top scholars. And how could I miss this wonderful image of the shield carpet, and with the top restorers and carpet textile experts of the world. Shirin didn't miss probably to show you a few carpets which arrived from Rome. For instance, this wonderful Kila Calais with birds. You see here in the spandrels, you have these stylized birds, and of course a lot of colorful botte, which gives a tremendous energy, and also this this kind of border, like the bourgeois I have on my back, which it gives again a lot of rhythm, and you see everything is moving in this carpet. And this is the visit of President Mattarella, who visited Azerbaijan on official visit, and this was the visit to the Carpet Museum, where he was shown these beauties. And of course, I was so proud that some of these carpets arrived from Rome. And I ask you, in which other country on the planet will have a president visit going to see a carpet museum? Here is a dear friend. I encourage also dealers, but it's very, very difficult. A dealer friend from Milan who donated a wonderful Cuba. Of course, these are not historical carpets, but these are carpets of a type which made famous the carpets in Azerbaijan worldwide. Italy is full of examples like this, which sometimes are in good condition. And of course, they have a very strong artistical background. As Shirin mentioned, both these carpets arrive from Italy. This is not a secret. I'm sure that Anna knows better than me how many carpets in the Berlin Museum have been acquired in Italy at the time when Bode visited the country repeatedly. And here are some last acquisitions, which again, I am so happy to show. And I want to tell you a small detail. The person, the collector, Emilio Bottini, who donated this carpet, is 93 years old. He just published a book. No, I show it here. He just sent me this this book, which he published for his grandchildren. Okay, where of course he published also the rug gifted. And you see, this is wonderful when you have people like this who are so passionate about carpets. I used to say his passion is bigger than his age. And well, I hope you will be able to come to Rome, seeing these streets, seeing Margutta Street, which is my favorite street. This was Fellini Street in Rome. A desert like this, it's sad. And this is a carpet shop, the only surviving carpet shop dealing with antique rugs in Rome. You see how beautiful examples. And the dealer, Andrea Cohn, who is a good friend, told me this is the first time in his career that instead of selling carpets for Christmas, he's buying from his customers who don't want to keep carpets anymore. So this is why a museum is so important. And again, I hope that next year will be Azerbaijan normal life. Thank you very much.
Stefano, thank you so much. And thank you for that really wonderful and very special tribute to your donors from all over the world. It certainly gives us so much to think about when we think about the beauty that's encapsulated in this artistry. And we certainly hope that some of these traditions are both cherished and revived as we go forward. If you would go ahead exactly, Stefano, and stop sharing your screen, that way our guests can see each other a bit better. I've received a few questions via private chat and we have about 10 minutes left together. And so anyone else who has a question, feel free to share with me through the private chat or through the group chat. But one of the questions that's been coming up, I mentioned the colors previously, is to dive a bit deeper just into the ways in which the various terrains within Azerbaijan impact the coloring of the traditional carpet making. And what I think would be wonderful is, Shirin, Anna, and Stefano, if I could come to each of you in turn. We are coming up to the holiday season. A lot of people are thinking about gifts and gift giving. If you were to share one or two sentences about why it is that the carpets from this particular region are so special, why the carpets of Azerbaijan are so special, and particularly if you have a favorite sub-region within Azerbaijan that you particularly love. I'm sure our guests would love to hear that. Some have been commenting, for example, on the pomegranates or the sheep grazing is impacting the colors within the region. So Shirin, can I come to you first? And Stefano, if you wouldn't mind stopping your screen share, then our guests will be able to see a bit better. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this question. And I should tell you that it's one of the main questions which I receive from the different people. And I should tell you that everybody can choose the carpet what they like, because we have so many different compositions. It's each region has more than 40 different compositions, which never repeatable. And it's their own design. It's different colors which used. Some of them are using, for example, the plants, the flowers, the designs, and a lot of colors and really small details which completely cover all carpets. It's mostly Gubash Shirvan type carpets, which I really like. And the others, for example, in Ganja Kazakh, are more tribal carpets with more plain ornaments, more big ornaments, and each ornament like a symbol, one of the symbol of this tribe. So this is very authentic carpets, and with a beautiful wool. Now, now you saw one of these carpet behind the Stefano. It's a Gazakh carpet. So you can see the beautiful wool, the beautiful, they are more, how to say, vivid colors. So the really beautiful carpets. And of course, Karabakh region, as I told before, it's one of the main carpet production area. And this you can find also different kind of replicas of very famous very famous luxury carpets, palace carpets, as we say, and rural carpets, different kind of flat weavers carpets. So, and authentically ornamented. And each ornament has really a big, behind itself, a big story, as for example, dragon carpets. And it's mostly very spread in common for Karabakh and for Shirvan, mostly for Karabakh. And Tabriz type is one of the also famous carpets. It's mostly palace carpets with a high density. That's why the ornaments are really small and with a lot of plants and different flowers, and even the different pictures, from the miniatures, and so on. So they are really so different. So you can choose for any taste, you know. And I always say that our carpets really can really very well for the design of modern buildings. So the different kind of interior could very good works with different kind of Azerbaijani carpets, and they are most very good I mean quality of wool, beautiful colors, vivid natural colors, and a lot of designs for any taste.
I can only imagine, thank you, Shirin, and I can only imagine how long it must take for someone to decide with a carpet dealer. It would probably take ages to decide which one you want to feature in your home with so many beautiful choices and colors. And fascinating that you say that the carpets themselves from Azerbaijan are programmatically meant to fit in with a whole variety of different interiors, which probably helps to make them so globally popular. Anna, may I bring you in for a few final remarks on what it is that makes this region especially special to you?
I think Shirin already, sorry, Shirin already said nearly everything that makes them so special, that they have such a huge variety from very rural ones to very high class ones. And the ones we have in our museum are special not only because of their size or maybe original size, if we're talking about the fragment of the shield carpet, but we are happy to have two of these Karabakh region dragon carpets, one earlier one and one later piece, and seeing how these pieces and the designs develop, how motifs are interpreted via decades, this makes them, for me, very interesting also as a scholar, and to see the different kind of qualities that you find in the carpets and the change of how they combine colors. That makes them, for me, very special and interesting. Yeah.
Shirin and Anna and Stefano and I have already been plotting a future virtual salon. You mentioned the difference between the rural carpets and those palatial carpets. I feel we could spend an entire hour hearing more about that and what that means, especially for those of us who are not scholars of the topic. Stefano, how about yourself? A few closing remarks.
You know, I'm used to hear so many opinions, and I can tell you something. Discussing with women is about carpets. It's something very complex and complicated. So I will not go too far, too deep into this topic, but basically, for me, a carpet must have soul. You cannot make it's like a person. It reflects the soul of the weaver. It is something which is so close to human being, and again, it is so important in order to understand the artistic attitude of these people, because very often carpets which are made in a Muslim context are from an environment where other visual arts are not so developed. So this is something which is very important. We must not look at carpets in a mechanical way, how many knots and things like this, but we must try to understand the message. We must try to understand what is the feeling which the weaver tried to put, even if she is repeating patterns, you know, but there is always a touch of personality. Yes.
Well, thank you, Stefano. We began our time together.
I don't know if you agree, Shirin, with this.
Yes, thank you. It was great. That's true. Each carpet can talk to you, and you can really feel when then you will know how you will not have a question which one you should you know, choose. You will feel it.
Impossible. Impossible.
Absolutely. Stefano, thank you for that. And thinking back to, you know, we all joined this virtual salon very much thinking of the carpets of Azerbaijan as a product in themselves. as those cultural ambassadors, but you have reminded us that we're actually not talking as much about products as we're talking about the human soul and personality behind those products. And what a brilliant way, especially as we near the end of 2020 and we're all reflecting on the imagination and the resilience of the human soul to get through a very challenging year. We see those resonances in such historical pieces that we invite into each of our homes. Thank you to all three of you so much for sharing your expertise during our salon today. And it's been a real privilege to join you in each of your homes and your offices in Baku and Berlin and in Rome. And so that's it from me. I'll pass over to Anne-Marie to wrap up. Thank you.
Huge thanks, Elizabeth. Thank you for moderating such an interesting discussion, and massive thanks to all of our panelists. What beautiful words to end the discussion on, around the fact that these are not products, but they're very much about the people. Gorgeous, gorgeous sentiment, and fascinating to hear about the heritage and the legacy of such a beautiful creative endeavor. Thanks to our panelists, Stefano in Rome, Shirin in Baku, and Anna in Berlin, and to Elizabeth Linder. That's all we've got time for today, but before we go, I just want to wish you all a very happy holiday festive period and a happy new year.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to all of you. And you are all welcome to Azerbaijan, to Baku.
Thank you. Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you to our
Thank you very much to all.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Keep in touch.